Hey there, fishies. How you guys doing? Having fun? Oh, man. Hi. What the hell do you want? What are you doing in my house? I want you to buy my new game. Buying a new game? That's a strange request. Just buy it! Alright, I'll do anything. Just let me go. Good. By the way, are you Batman? No. Alright. Could you let me go so I can go buy the game? Oh, I'll let you go, alright.
The original game design for Splinter Cell Conviction was to have Sam Fisher running around looking like a bum. He didn't have to hide anymore. His rugged beard and don't tell me what to do hair was all he needed. This concept came with the fact that he just throw people and tables everywhere. Somehow living on the streets made him as strong as 20 Hulks. Unfortunately for Sam, this didn't cut it in the 2010 era of game design. So allow me to introduce to you the new Sam Fisher.
But if you'd like to make an appointment, Mr.
Fisher, I used to work here.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Fisher is back to being his badass self. He's left Third Echelon after his issues in Double Agent, and apparently his daughter has been murdered. At least that's the way the story starts off, but it quickly spirals into government conspiracy mechanisms. A lot of this stuff involves flashing mirrors on the walls, or push B to beat the crap out of a guy for more story elements. We've all seen this kind of stuff before, and there isn't anything especially new here in the story department. The real winner here is Sam Fisher kicking ass in his tight-knit sweater, shooting people in the chest, breaking necks, mass hysteria. Pardon me. Sam Fisher has become James Bond and Jason Bourne rolled all up into one. Now before I get into what has changed in the series, I'm going to go ahead and state what hasn't changed. Sam Fisher, even after a long sabbatical, has basically the same repertoire from previous games. He can only have two weapons out at the same time, he climbs poles upside down, he can hang over the side of walls, and he even crouches the same. Now that may sound as nitpicky as they come, but there aren't a lot of things to say that are bad about this game. Now for the new addition to Sam's arsenal of I'm gonna kill your ass. First is the new cover system. It's a combination of the Rainbow Six Vegas cover and the Gears of War movement, except it is much more fluid in animation. Sam can easily jump from cover to cover without getting stuck on cover. That, and he can easily dispatch an enemy that gets close to him, with his new takedown skills that are usually pretty brutal. However, the most entertaining of all would have to be the mark and execute move. Now Sam can mark a series of targets that he sees and execute them in one fluid John Woo movement. Sam can also use some pretty impressive gadgets, like an EMP blast that can blind and stun targets. Sam also has a gadget to see under doors and mark opponents, or he can use a sticky cam to mark, distract, or simply blow up enemies. Not to mention that every weapon in the game is upgradable in some way, so you can always bring your favorite weapons to the slaughter. This may not be as fleshed out as it could be, but you take what you can get. On the graphics side of things, well, Splinter Cell looks like a game that should have been released in 2007. It doesn't stack up with most games nowadays. It definitely isn't going to live up to like Uncharted 2 or God of War 3. Most of the character models look like glossy putty monsters, with an exception to Sam, but that's not to say he couldn't do with a couple more textures, you know what I'm saying? But there are a few interesting environments in the game though, but nothing that will make or break things. This proves that graphics do not always determine what makes an impressive game. When it comes to the difficulty, the enemies become increasingly more attentive to killing Sam as levels go by. At first, you'll steadily fight a bunch of inept guards who have no business fighting Sam Fisher. They'll walk into every trap you spring for them like a doofus. But later on, the enemies start to refuse to go into dark areas and will become more resilient to gunfire and attempt to flank more. Sam even runs into a few surprising enemies that will force him to fight. That's not to say there aren't some downsides, but it isn't anything that hasn't been seen in a stealth game before, and this game doesn't do it as much as other games do. The fast-paced nature of the combat outweighs the small issues.
Do not lie to me about this, or I'll kill you. You understand me? I will kill you!
Being my first half-assed review, I think this is an excellent game to start off with. If you're a casual player, this game will probably run you 8 to 10 hours tops. But if you're a hardcore player, you could probably slip through it in 5 to 6 hours in a sitting. While I didn't get a chance to test out the co-op in this review, I can easily say that I will be playing the single player again, with much incentive to go back and complete the in-game achievements that come with it. With that, I give Splinter Cell Conviction single player 4 half-asses out of 5.
Easy. You don't have to do this. Goddamn nerd. Getting him down like a man.
What the hell? What the hell is going on here? Ah, stuck in a wall.
What about the second generator?
What
Not
the?
a good time, Vic. I'm taking fire from that
What's going on with the
chopper.
Ah,
You'll think
stuck
of
in the
something.
wall again.
But I need those coordinates or we're fucked.
Where that came from?